Before we begin training, we must first warm up our body and our tissues with a dynamic warm-up. I personally do this for 5 to 15 minutes, doing mobility drills such as high knees, butt kicks, walking quad stretches, toe and heel walks, air squats. These are to increase the pliability and reduce the risk of injury in our muscles and our joints. And also you should do a light jogging workout, so just 5 minutes that's progressively increasing in intensity up until you get to that race pace or the training pace for that day. First up, we have our easy run. This can be done from 3 to 7 miles, and the pace that you should be aiming for is a speaking pace. A speaking pace is a speed at which you can run with a partner and then comfortably carry on a conversation without having to slow down. This is a great way to gauge how intense your running is. And if that's not working for you, you can also just use your heart rate for between 65 to 75% of your heart rate max should be your goal for your easy run. And if you want to increase the mileage of your easy run, aim to increase 1 mile a week, so that you're not putting yourself at risk for overtraining. Next, we have our speed workouts. We have a few options for these. My personal favorite is just the classic interval training. So that's running for a quarter or a half mile and then doing that for 4 to 8 repetitions. And in between each repetition, I like to walk or jog a quarter mile as my rest. And for the focus of this training is basically to increase the amount of steps you take, not your stride length. Next option we have are the hill sprints. These can be done for 15 to 30 seconds. So find a hill. Don't obsess about the size or the grade of the hill. Just find a hill near your house. Sprint up it. Focus on explosiveness. So go all out and then jog down the hill. And your rest periods should be no longer than 2 minutes each repetition. And I repeat that for 4 to 10 sets depending on where you are and what your fitness level is. Next, we have the tempo run. To perform this, you're essentially going to start at your speaking pace we spoke about earlier, and you're going to hold that for 5 to 10 minutes, and you're going to ramp that pace into a 5 to a 10K pace and hold that for 15 to 25 minutes, depending on where you are in your fitness journey. And then you're going to cool down with another speaking pace 5 to 10 minute jog at the end. And the goal for this is to increase the speed at which you're progressing and also lengthen the amount of time you're able to hold that tempo run. So lastly, guys, we get to our all important long runs. And for me, I started at 2 or 3 miles. And the way you overload this training is by increasing the volume and not the speed. So I started at 2 or 3 miles every week. I would add 1 mile. So 7 weeks later, I was running 10 miles every week. And that's kind of where I stayed up until my race day, was about 10 miles a week. And you're going to perform this at a speaking pace. You're not going to overload in speed. You're just going to overload 1 mile a week with the volume. And the primary goal is just to get really comfortable with running, work on your efficiency, your breathing. And I found it really useful to listen to a podcast or a music you like so that you're not just listening to the birds for 2 hours. After any run, especially for those who are older, it's important to walk or jog to slow down your heart rate gradually so you're not going from 170 beats per minute to 110 beats per minute in 30 seconds. So gradually reduce your heart rate with a walk or a jog. And next we have to perform static stretching for whatever feels tight or painful. Do not ignore your body. If you feel like you need the rest, take a rest. But if you need to stretch a muscle, listen to it because it's telling you the truth. I learned this the hard way when I was preparing for my half marathon. My calf muscles were extremely tight, and this led to plantar fasciitis because I didn't listen to my body. Now I listen to my body and stretch the muscle, right? So listen to your hamstrings, your calf muscle, your quads, your hip flexors, because these are particularly important for runners. And to perform static stretching is basically 2 sets of 30 to 60 second holds on a muscle. And this should help you prevent injury, but also just to stay healthy and improve your performance while training. Lastly, guys, I recommend that you perform resistance training 2 to 3 times a week. I'm a bodybuilder, so I have a push-pull legs split that I love performing religiously, but I know that's not for everybody. But really, it's important that you develop your muscles to act as shock absorbers, because running can be really tough on your bones, your ligaments, your joints. And that's why it's important to build up or hypertrophy your muscles and to increase the density of your bone so that you can be ready when you impose that 10, 11, 12 mile run on your tissues. You're ready for it and you're less at risk for overuse injuries. So I hope that was useful for you guys. This concludes my hybrid athlete training. If you'd like to look at my push-pull leg split, it's on my website, CRG Physical Therapy, but there's also content on my channel for push, pull, and legs to work out and get stronger and bigger in the gym. But if you found this useful, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.